Come, let us prepare, make some good profits today. Our market left us big clues right here. Market's building so much liquidity right here. You have to pay close attention to this. I will run through that with you in today's video. And it is no surprise, isn't it, if you watched yesterday's video? I talked about how a bounce after every large red day, especially when still in that selling continuation. Do you see that? Penny perfect in the magenta as well. So please watch yesterday's video. Link is in the description. So you can catch up on the videos, understand what I'm trying to say. But please do watch it after this. And the move today was especially straightforward. I warned you about a possible tapering, especially of the early rejection of the moving averages. So this was at 10:39 a.m. Right, 10:39 a.m. we were close to the highs here. This was 10:39 a.m. Timestamp right here. So you can see the timestamp 10:39. Right, I was telling you, you have to be very careful and just be patient, because if this wants to dump, you're not going to miss it. Especially once we started retesting the magenta. Just see it for yourself. Penny perfect once we break the magenta. This went straight down beautifully in that blue. Absolutely beautiful. We had even another retracement from that magenta right there. Another leg down. Absolutely beautiful trade. And at 10:39 we already identified the magenta algorithm. So especially beautiful trade right there. Now thereafter I want you to see for yourself how magenta was just leaving the liquidity right there. Penny perfect. What can you do with this information in your trade, right? Especially near to the final 10 minutes. This was such a beautiful trade if you managed to catch it, especially once the precision algorithm started showing. Not the first time you see this. If you've been following me, watching the videos and being in the Discord server, this will be such a textbook move to you. And it's only possible because you identified the magenta algorithm as well as the blue precision algorithm right there. And look, beautiful rejection, not just off the 5-day moving average, but also this pink algorithm right there. Look, penny perfect. And you're wondering, right, members, especially why I charted this secondary pink algorithm and still continue to bold it. Now you see it for yourself, because the main liquidity is always here. Instead of this, this is the market trying to build liquidity but fail. So the main liquidity has always been this lower band of pink algorithm, which I kept it bolded right there. And you see how it coincided with that 5-day moving average there. Absolutely beautiful trade. Now, importantly, where do we go from here? I want you to pay close attention, because now the market is building to liquidity here. Right, so the pink algorithm, as I have demonstrated to you with the 5-day moving average, you cannot have any bias. You just have to be always trading as structure demands. Remember that. And secondarily, you see how the magenta has always been building liquidity here, and we may be closing cups at that 653 yellow. Now I want you to see this, because there is a very easy way up pre-market. Right, this is prime liquidity. If this wants to dump, there's nothing stopping it. So you have to wait for structure. If this wants to continue to dump, now you have to pay close attention to this 653 yellow. I'll chart it here so it's clearer for you. Wait for 653 yellow to start closing. Importantly, inverse cups here form a structure if this wants to continue heading down. You see how orange is still in control, isn't it? You see it for yourself. Orange is still controlling the selling. And in the midst of it, the green is still selling it as well. So watch out if it remains in the orange. And that's what you want to see. If green sustains that selling, you want to see it break that orange as some form of resistance of this previous support before it starts retesting this 646 yellow level. That's a very important level right there. So please pay close attention to that. Now, alternatively here, I want you to pay close attention to the pink, because if you properly charted this, you see the pink was also controlling liquidity on the bottom here, right? So pay close attention to that. That's very important. On the 30-minute chart, that's what you see in the magenta. So I want you to pay close attention to this particular magenta algorithm here. If the market wants to build liquidity and head up, right, obviously they will have to grab your 200-day moving average. That's very important level. right? Because you see we have started closing the cup of the 200-day. This is a closed cup. A handle can be forming here. So you have to be more mindful. Don't always have that bias. It doesn't matter if this goes up or goes down, because now you are in a very, very tight range with the liquidity forming a wedge here. So you can make good profits up or down regardless, because just take a look. The way up here, this was about 7 points, and the way down about 9 points right there. Absolutely beautiful action because of the volatility, and this is what you need to learn to take advantage of. But yet, be extremely mindful of all these liquidity wedges here. So just be a little bit more careful. If this wants to dump, it will have to grab this blue liquidity, as I always tell you, right there. And there's a lot of liquidity here that was on Friday afternoon, and this will come in that selling continuation. Remember in yesterday's video, I talked to you about selling continuation, so you have to be more careful about that as well. Closed cups will always be best, right? That's where you know that the market is building more liquidity, and there is more confirmation that you can see the controlled liquidity if it wants to go a certain direction. But more if this wants to head down, this is juicy, right? So you want to be waiting for cups to close, larger cups to close here, right off that 653. The market builds more liquidity here. So that you want to pay close attention if we do not have that action after hours of pre-market tomorrow. But even if you're trading pre-market with the futures, these are all very relevant information for you to be looking out for the main liquidity wedges too. So just pay close attention, especially all the liquidity zones that I'm talking to you about. And remember, watch yesterday's video, because I talked about how 5-day can still be guiding this on the way down if it wants to, and what to look out for if this wants to start reversing. And a big part of that will be that 200-day moving average. It's a very important indicator here. You have to pay close attention. So please watch yesterday's video. The link should be here right now or in the description. Thank you very much for watching. See you closer to opening bell.